texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and on Street Talk, what we do, we deal with the political situation here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Now, joining me tonight is one of my good friends, Mr. Rory McNeil.
Always a pleasure.
Okay. We got a lot of things to talk about and got about 27, 28 minutes to talk about it. So let's deal with some of them.
I'm ready.
Okay. The Flint crisis, we talked about it was happening in a lot of places that we didn't even know about it. What's your thoughts on that?
One of the things, first of all, it's a travesty that any form of regulatory or government service could allow something like this to happen. These are things that just don't create a flu or a cold or some kind of minor chronic disease. Mm-hmm. The lead, there are no acceptable levels of consumption of lead, period. First of all, we know what it does. Under 6 years of age, it affects your whole cognitive development, your whole brain learning structure. In 2,000 water systems across America right now, half of them have lead levels higher than Flint. You know, how is this possible?
Higher than Flint?
Higher than Flint, 2,000. The EPA is an organization that last couple of election cycles, everybody wants to get rid of, the Clean Water and Air Act, the most essential elements to human existence, water and air. And now we find out that our water and air systems have been compromised to the point where they become injurious to us. They're very dangerous. They injure us for generations.
Okay. So, if we got that many bad, the thing is, how long they've been bad? That's one of the questions I would ask.
That'd be a question that we may not get an answer to, but that's the first question. You know, well, one of the first questions. How long has this been going on? You know, we've seen this aberrant and strange and miscreant behavior in a lot of youth, children killing their parents, street violence and gang violence, drug violence. And as people from our generation, we say, man, what's wrong with these kids?
Right, yeah.
And we may be blaming the victims. It may have been going on so long, we may be blaming the victims.
If this thing hadn't broke out in Flint, so we might have been just going on, and a lot of people getting ill, and doctors not sure what's happening to them, so they just been. So what I mean, what's happening here?
Your earlier question about how long has this been going on, I think it's a significant question to ask for that, for obvious reasons. How long has this been going on? We've been seeing this kind of behavior. We've been seeing all of the signs. Our test scores are going down worldwide, internationally.
Yep.
We don't see the kinds of growth in the last two generations that we've seen in every generation before that. Because of what it does, because if you're under 6 years old, it affects your ability to learn.
Yeah.
It affects your cognitive comprehension, skills, everything. And so now if I lose 5, 10, 15 IQ points, if you agree with that scale,
Yeah.
that's going to make for a really, rough, my decision making, problem solving, emotional, all of this stuff. So this may be happening, may have been happening for an undetermined amount of time.
So now we see it here. What do you think? What do you think? We're leaving out Flint for just a moment. The other places, you think they're gonna do anything about it?
I think so. One of the things as a society, in any society, anywhere in time, a society that doesn't protect and support and demand proper treatment for its children is a society that's doomed. You can create a groundswell of a movement because you're damaging our future, everybody's future, the children, and that's what's happening.
Now, I don't know whether you had a chance to watch the thing. It was a thing. It wasn't really because we had, and this is all the way in Washington, where you would think that the people who were representatives of the people who back here and everywhere else in the U.S. You would think they would have been only thing they was at was why, what, and when, But even there, we had Democrats action hard question. We had Republicans trying to come down on the EPA lady,
The Environmental Protection Agency, which is a federal agency. Instead of the state people.
And that's what I watched a little bit, and it just made me ill to watch it. It's like, all the way in Washington, they still trying to protect a man who should be out of office. He should be in jail right now.
Last time I was here, we talked about Governor Snyder and his role in this. And there's a legal term that's called depraved indifference, meaning that I caused severe harm, including death, to someone who I was responsible for their care.
Yeah.
Depraved indifference, and prima facie mean just on the face of the case. How can 2 years go past? How can the GM parts plant in Flint, after 6 months, say we can't use this water anymore? It's eroding our parts, and these parts are saturated in oil and all kinds of protective agents, just freshly machined.
Yeah.
That water, once they switched, and somebody said, well, before we switch this water, we better check, make sure this water is all right, and done whatever, due diligence. So you've got 10 cases of Legionnaire's disease death, and you've got, I don't think they can even count how many thousands of kids that have consumed this water for 2 years now. And he's saying he didn't know. We've got emails where communication, if you didn't know, you should have knew.
Yeah. So he and me and a couple of people been talking about this ever since it first come on, and the thing, and I'm just speaking for myself. The thing that I think is happening is that he's trying his best to shift all the blame on somebody else.
A classic tactic, and unfortunately, and way too often, the public gets misled, they get distracted. The same thing with the presidential race right now. Instead of saying, okay, we don't even care if you didn't know. It
Right.
was your job
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
If you don't feed your child and that child starves to death, can you say, I didn't know that baby needed food?
Yeah, I didn't know he was hungry.
I know it was hungry.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know they needed clean
Yeah,
water. Their
yeah.
water wasn't clean.
Right.
You know, he's, you know, well, and that's the thing. We can't get distracted. We can't get deceived.
We kind of get away from that, but in this presidential election, and I keep telling people, you know, we gotta look further than getting a Democrat in office, because we got a 4-4 court right now. The highest court in the land is 4-4. You know, and I know, and thousands of other people out there, a million of other people out there know that if Republicans win this thing, we'll go back 30 years, 40 years, you know.
Longer, farther than that.
Yeah, because they're going to get some judge who, just like they did about the some of the civil rights things,
Voting rights
bill, cutting into it.
Women's ability to have say over their reproductive systems. That is one of the scariest things. You and I were joking about it. I wish we had got that on camera earlier. I don't know anybody else in the whole wide world could go to work and say, I ain't gonna do my job.
Right.
I ain't gotta work but 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna do my job.
Right.
The United States Senate right now has said, and it said within 24 hours of Justice Antonin Scalia dying, we are not going to hear any appointments for, you know, his replacement for his seat.
Yeah.
I'm retired now, and I done had some jobs going all the way back to paper routes and everything else, bagging groceries. I never been able to go to work and tell my boss I wasn't going to do my job.
No, never.
And it's almost, remember I said, it's almost tantamount to sedition.
Yeah.
The Constitution said this is your job.
Yeah. And then, you know, you mentioned that it's really, man, it's like when they want to use something out of the Constitution, they use it, but then other things, you know, it's
Second Amendment, of course, and freedom of speech, First Amendment. Of course, neither are absolute. We don't allow people to have Thompson machine guns or bazookas or rocket launchers and stuff like that. Those are arms. We restrict those arms.
Yeah.
And now you tell us, well, we can't restrict automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons from private use. We live in a society now where we don't hunt for our food anymore. We're not worried about somebody coming over the hill or across the river or out of the fields or to sack our village or whatever.
No.
It is just a ploy to unite people that may think the same way. To use, first of all, there is no justifiable defense for them to say, we are not going to do our job. We're not going to hold hearings.
Right.
We're not going to give him an up or down vote.
Yeah.
You know, matter of fact, he nominated the guy he said they all like. Oh, no.
Yep. They showed a thing the other night. Somebody showed it. Rachel Maddow, somebody showed where in 1990, no, it was 97. Just, I think it was 1997. Anyway, where Owen Hatch from Utah.
Threw tons of praise on the guy.
Yeah, what's his name from Arizona? John,
McCain.
McCain.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, tons of praise.
yeah.
Matter of fact, even before just 2 weeks ago, Orrin Hatch and somebody else, who's another one of the senators, he won't nominate somebody like Garrett, blah, 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 that'd be too sensible. So now he nominates Garrett, and they say no still. Their excuse is, like I say, in defense vote, we want the people to have a say, so we want the next president to do this. Well, the people have already had that say. They elect this man twice.
Yeah.
You didn't verified him.
Yeah.
Confirmed him.
Yeah.
Already 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
What's the problem here?
Yeah.
And same thing that's happening with the election. Now, people have been lulled into a almost sedated state. We've almost become a reality TV society. This is ridiculous that this man can go around saying that his slogan, I don't care if we got 5 seconds, give him to me about it. Make America great again.
Yeah.
Now, when in the heck is he talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I remember before 1776 when they said that we declare that all people are created equal and endowed with certain inalienable rights, and that was good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't do it, but that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're talking about when they said that, even though they didn't practice, 4 of the first 6 presidents were all slave owners.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all of the Supreme Court justices were slave
Yeah.
owners. They talked a good talk.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know now, up until 1865, they had this thing called slavery.
Yep.
And we all know what it is. It's ugly as could be.
Yeah.
All right, is that when you're talking about? All right, well, after Reconstruction, Jim Crow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. Percy Ferguson
Yeah.
Act, the Fugitive Slave
Yeah,
Act, Dred Scott Act.
Yeah.
I just want to know when
Yeah.
I'm going to say his name if you don't mind. Trump. I want to know what he's talking about.
I do too. And the thing is, man, is that, you know, we've talked about it. All of these reporters, man, he's on he's
Let
on
him off
TV.
the hook.
I mean, he's on TV from the time you get up in the morning to the time you cut the TV off
That's
at
right.
night. He's on, and nobody has asked him, what you mean by that?
What do... Hey, man, I got one. Your staff gave me one of the hats Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me what exactly are you talking about?
Yeah.
Women just got the right to vote in 1919. They still don't get paid as much as men. They still on the corporate ladder fall way behind. They don't have any control over their own reproductive system.
No.
Just when are you talking about?
Yeah. And before Obama, we were losing almost 1 million jobs a month. So
Almost 1 million jobs a month.
Yeah.
A month.
So tell me what you're talking about.
Well, tell me what you're losing over 1 million jobs a month. The scary part is about Trump and his supporters. These people have been reduced to a state of just total abdication of responsibility. All right, and some are good cause. They bailed out the banks, they bailed out the auto industry, this and that, and yet millions and millions of people, either you or somebody you know, lost their home, went underwater, and all of that. Didn't help any of those people out. Gave the banks money, they wouldn't loan it out.
Right.
I'm tired of you. Now that's a valid argument, but now I don't want to fall for this carnival barker rhetoric again.
Right.
Tell me what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know, and then see, they one of the things was that I was watching TV about a week or so ago, maybe about a week and a half ago, and they had a 2000 had some show was interviewing Trump. It was in 2000, and they asked him about the KKK and they asked him about the Aryan Nation and all these. Oh, he's like, them people I hate them and blah, blah, blah. And they was talking to him about it last week. I forget what day,
Yeah.
and he didn't know anything about it.
He didn't know anything about it. First of all, just the subject long, Aryan Nation, neo-Nazis, KKK.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, and that's not funny, matter of fact, there's absolutely nothing funny about it, Maude, is that if you watch and listen to him, he sounds just like two fellas from the 1930s that led their nations to ruin, promising wild dreams and bolstering violence at the rallies. You great, we're gonna make you great again. I love everybody.
Yeah.
I love the blacks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the Mexicans.
Yeah.
You know, the Mexicans
Yeah, yeah.
love me.
Yeah.
Talks about himself in the third person. When Trump say he gonna do something, now wait a minute, who says that? You know, yeah.
And me and somebody was talking about it was something, man, he used and everybody was all yeah and
the salute.
yeah
The salute. He wanted the people at the rally to make a pledge to him.
Yep.
You know, I swear I pledge to vote for Donald Trump, go to the vote. Now, forget it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it right, Ahmad. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. He's supposed to be pledging his allegiance to the Constitution and to the people, not having people pledge their allegiance to him. Goes back to them two guys in the 30s. You ain't got to name them if you don't want to.
Yeah. So, you know, and
Ohio.
Yeah.
Not raise your hand, not, you know.
No.
Or
Yeah.
you know, like we do, you know, sometimes say the president leave, put your hand with harder.
Yeah. So what, I mean, you know, and you know, I've been independent Democrat all my life, ever since I can remember, and people was and all that. But Trump, man, is he's hitting on a lot of stuff that's out here now, you know.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of, you know, a lot of us, blacks, brown, you know, Hispanic, and all them other people, man, seem as though we don't see what he's hitting on, man. But a lot of these people out here are out supporting him. He's talking, I got a lot of them who haven't voted, but and I'm not saying all, you know, because I know all or not, but a lot of these people, man, that is voting for him are racist.
I agree with that. Or they have tendencies that border on bigotry and racism. Matter of fact, a lot of them are just powerless people.
Right.
And when Trump says, let's make America great again, that's when we were the only ones, people that look like me, were the only ones getting the job. We got all the promotion. We got the bank loans. We lived in the nicest neighborhood. To those people, when Trump says, let's make America great again, that's what that means to them. And it was always unfair, and America was never supposed to be like that. Now that things have changed to some degree, the voting rights restrictions that they've implemented, all of these other things, huge corporations don't pay any tax. First of all, why would anybody want to take health care away from 20 million Americans or more? Because, you know, they tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act, commonly known as Obamacare, 50 times. And they still campaign on that. I'm going to repeal Obamacare. 20 million people.
I mean, you know, that's what, man, it just angers me, man. It's like, it'd be something else. If it was 10 people, you know,
Right.
You're gonna take these 10 people and put them out where there's no insurance, anything, and it's 20 million.
Yeah.
And you want to keep saying that you're gonna repeal this, and this is kind of off the thing, but I remember when Obama was trying to get this thing in, you know, during his first term. There was a guy. Oh, he was at one of those, you know, one of those old things, the old meetings they be having, and everything. You know, they're wearing the guns and everything, and he was out. Oh, we're gonna repeal it. We're gonna get that. And come to find out, he was, you know, he was getting
it.
Yeah.
He was getting it.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That's funny that you mention those things. You've got Obamacare, which for no reason anybody can give you a good reason not to do it. There has been a strand of bigotry that has reared its ugly head, and right now the Republican Party is right at the head of it.
Yeah. And you know, they're trying their best, man, and we got about two and a half minutes, but they're trying their best to, you know, and it won't happen, you know, because of the things he's done, you know. I mean, the things that he's done, this is the reason they're trying to repeal it, because they want him to look like the worst president. But it's no way all the things that he's done, and tell us about, quickly, go through a few things.
No, I agree with you. Affordable Care Act, restoration of relationships with Cuba, the Iran nuclear deal. He's ended 2 wars. He's had unparalleled almost 7 years straight of job growth.
Yeah.
The stock market is at 7,000. It's never been anywhere near that. No, I'll take that back way higher than that. Anyway, never been near that, and that's without any Republican support from the House of Representatives, which is appropriations, is money, or from the Senate. Everything he tried to do, they blocked. No transportation bill, no jobs bill, no works bill, infrastructure bill, nothing.
No.
In 8 years, and he still accomplished all these things.
Yeah. Now, see, that's the thing. It's like they hate these things will be, you know, hey, he accomplished these things, you know, and ain't nothing they can say that would dim that, you know. They can say they won't say sat on their hands and everything while he was trying to do this, and unemployment was 10.5 when he took over, 10.5,
under 5.
Yep, and now it's under 5. But anyway, we gotta go, and it's been great talking to you, man.
Always.
I wish we could go on, but somewhere down the street we'll talk about it more. This is Ahmad Shakaraki for Street Talk, and we'll catch you down in the next block.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.